Welcome to First Things First. I'm Brooke and my pronouns are she and her.
I'm Maddie Mills, my pronouns are he and him, and before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge the custodians of the land on which we record. And for me, it's the Gadigal People of the Eora Nation.
And for me, it's the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. Let's get into it.
We're here. I'm literally fresh off the back of a massive weekend, but I had such a thrilling time being in Darwin.
Yeah.
I love Darwin. Have you been?
I love Darwin, yes. Oh my God.
Isn't it a vibe?
Yeah. I mean, you can't really swim because of the crocs.
Yeah, but they have the whole waterfront that they made. Like
Yes.
Darwin waterfront is like a man-made lagoon.
Yes.
But
Now.
when you're in there, you're constantly thinking, oh, a crocodile could be in here. So it's not that enjoyable. My thought is, if I was a crocodile, I'd climb over the wall at night time when everyone's asleep, wait for the morning, those first people to jump into the lagoon, breakfast.
I didn't think crocodiles could climb
But they
until
can.
I saw a video of it climbing this big fence.
Yep.
And I was like, kid you
They
not.
can climb.
Yeah, they can. And they can run fast. It's insane.
Well, let me tell you
Crawl?
something. Jog.
Light jog.
I swam with a crocodile on the weekend, believe it or not. It was
know.
insane. So there was one
Were you
thing
scared?
Yeah, I was shitting myself.
Oh my God, I would be
Especially
shitting myself.
because you get to watch the experience before you go in, like other people do it. And there were these two girls and the crocodile was going like frantic for them. Like it wanted to eat these two women in this cage. And it was the only thing that I really wanted to tick off my list in Darwin once I got there. And I've been to Darwin a few times, but I never got to go to Crocosaurus Cove. It's like their main tourist attraction for crocodiles.
Yeah.
And it's right in the heart of the CBD, like the city. Anyway, I had a couple of hours off in the afternoon and I booked in for the Cage of Death. It is a perspex cage.
It's giving me anxiety.
In an enclosure with crocodiles. I didn't have one, I had two. And it's like you're in a piece of Tupperware about to be dropped in to the ocean.
Oh my God, I can't. That makes me so panic. Like,
And then once you're in the water and under the water, your brain doesn't really adjust, so it doesn't realise that there is perspex between you and the crocodile. So when you put your hand out, it's like you can touch the crocodile because you can't see the clear covering of this container. It's weird.
that's so crazy. That
I
is
know.
so scary. And that's probably what the croc sees as well, right? Maybe?
Oh, yeah, they were
So it's
circling
trying-
me the whole time. They're very opportunistic. So what they normally do in the wild is they will watch something for weeks on end before they attack it.
Wow.
They don't just go over and like immediately get it unless, you know, it's like a...
Delicious snack like you.
Yeah, unless it's like me and then it's like drooling at the mouth. No. But
So
it
is
was...
that big Buddha is like, delicious.
Yeah, you know what? It was scary, but I'm so glad I did it. And I love Darwin this time of the year. This year...
Because you went for the NEMAs, right?
Yeah.
The National Indigenous Music Awards.
Yeah, I did.
Who won?
Well, Barker was a big winner on the night.
Ooh.
She took out 2 awards. Dan Sultan won Album of the Year. It was a stellar night. Like Jess performed 3 times. She did like a mad medley of all her big hits.
Oh, amazing.
And then at the end, there was this 20-year anniversary of the NEMAs that's been going for 20 years.
Yeah, wow.
Where all the artists on stage, there was like 15, probably our best First Nations artists in this country, all performing like hits. And one thing that stood out was like Jess performing Better in Black by Thelma Plum. It was like a cover. It was epic.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that
Yeah.
song by Thelma. It's
So
stunning.
good. How was your weekend? I mean, we had a good conversation while I was in Darwin. Do you want to spill the beans or what?
No, I had a bit of a... What did I do?
Let's go to surprises. Any surprises that you found?
It's so weird. Why am I getting so weird to talk about this? I never get weird about talking about sex. So, every time I have a crush on a girl or I talk about a girl, I get like real, like real, like blushed, I guess. It's
Yeah.
funny. Anyways, I had my first, not my first, sorry.
You are flustered, girl.
I'm so flustered. I'm so flustered. Okay, get the fucking shit together. I am back on the pissoir train.
Wow.
Yes, yay, welcome me back. Thank you. It's been a long time, guys. It's been a long time.
Put the rumors to sleep. She's not straight.
Yeah, put the rumors to sleep. You know, I think I was kind of in this rebellious stage where, because my bisexuality was fucking plastered everywhere and everyone would ask so much about my sexuality, I kind of got so fatigued and so exhausted about it that I was like, fuck this, I can't be bothered. And then I sort of just like went one way to sort of move away from that. And then I sort of stayed there because it was like, it's not that it's comfortable, like being straight is comfortable, but it's easier and guys are easier. And it's just like.
Wait, guys are easier?
A little bit, yeah. Well,
like
they're easier in a sense where it's like I can kind of detach very quickly in a way.
Oh, okay.
Do you get what I mean? Like with women.
I would say guys are easy, but I'm thinking about the bedroom.
Well, in terms of relationship, right, I find that because I respect women so much and I put women on a like high pedestal, I never want to be disrespectful or not give a woman the time of day.
Okay.
So not that I don't respect men, but I have this kind of feeling like, oh, like you'll get over it kind of fucking vibes, you know what I mean? But with a woman, I want to give them the absolute time and effort and emotion and be present. So I haven't had that capacity to really feel and do that. So I haven't explored that. That's not my excuse, but that's kind of my reasoning to why I've stayed away from dating women for a little bit, because I love them actually a lot. Like I realized like having sex with a woman again, I was like, oh my God, I'm so clearly fucking gay. So I was,
quote from you over the weekend on the phone, you're really good in the sack with a woman.
Shut up. I did not say that.
You did say that.
No.
Yes, you did.
Okay,
you said, okay. No, she
that's what I did as well. I did that too. I was like,
I was doing it too. I was like, yeah, you are. But I just remember being like, so how was it? Tell me everything. Like, was it, like, did you really want to do it? And you were like, I was a bit tired, but then I was like, oh, I'm really good at it, so I might as well.
The confidence. No, I just was like, it's like a switch. I'm like, I just know, and I feel like
that
I doubted.
Went into V8 mode, and you were ready.
The visual that I got just then was so fucked up. Like I got a tongue with like four-wheel drive wheels.
Yeah. Or like just
yours.
a motor. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Oh, Lord.
We're so unhinged.
Too funny.
Oh, God. Anyways.
Well, I mean,
it was great. Is that what you're going to ask? It was great. It was fun.
Well, I was like, did a bit of nostalgia come up from this experience? Like, did it take you back in time?
To be fair, my early 20s were mostly consumed by women, if I'm being honest. Like, I didn't really date a lot of men.
Yeah.
And my friends will vouch for that as well, because most of my girlfriends, you know, that I played footy with or that I worked with or were all sort of mostly lesbian women or queer or bisexual or whatever. And so it was just such an environment that I was surrounded by. But yeah, no, I just feel like it just took me back to my early 20s where I was like, I used to have these like massive parties. I don't know if I've ever really spoken about this. This is so funny.
Like orgies?
They're not orgies. No.
Oh.
Like I had this house and it was like me and my two best friends when we were all gay. And we lived in this house and it was kind of like a bachelorette pad, if I'm being honest. Like it was, we had this shed. I had this garage where I had put all these fun posters and I covered the side of the wall and had this brick wall. So it was kind of this urban sort of garage that we used to all hang out at. Yeah. But when we'd have parties, it would get pretty bloody loose. When I got rid of this couch when I was moving out of this house, I was like, there is so much sex that just happened on that couch. Ooh. I was like, this should be in like one of those museums. Like it was the couch that everyone fucked on. It was hilarious. Oh, wow. Yeah, but it was hot and it was fun and it was exciting and it was in my early 20s.
I want to know more. Tell me about it. So if the party started, say, at like 8, 9 o'clock, how would the night go? It would be like table tennis, drinks until you got a bit unhinged and then you would just see like girls scissoring on the lounge.
Only you can fucking ask that question, because if a straight guy asked me that question, I'd punch him in the face. But no, it was just like, you know, there'd be people hooking up pretty much. And you know what?
And then,
yeah, just whatever. Yeah. But, you know, you're not like watching it and it doesn't happen. Everyone kind of gets to a point where like everyone goes to bed or goes back to their rooms, like my housemates, when everyone leaves. And then, you know, there's the last few stragglers that are hanging around, you know, and I'm like, you know what? Crash on my couch. I don't care. back then, I'd slept with more women than I had men, which is quite funny. And then now it's, they've taken over.
I'm interested in what made you get with a woman recently. Like, was there a moment? Was it the coffee girl, was it? The girl that
No, it wasn't the coffee girl, no. It was a girl that I've known and hooked up with. Maybe like once a year, we actually physically catch up. We'd only met in person maybe halfway through last year. Honestly, it was when the sort of maybe the World Cup was happening.
Okay.
So we'd talked online for months and we'd sort of check in and say hi, and then all of a sudden we sort of got together, and there's obviously that sexual tension, but the first time we met, it just didn't happen. They were going on a flight at like 4 a.m. in the morning. And
where were they going?
Back to London.
Okay.
And then this time they were back from Paris and flew into Sydney and then flew to Melbourne. Anyways, you're so nosy, you little dog.
Naughty
He's
today.
nosy.
I want to get all the details.
Naughty. Well, I can't give you the details because she's...
Not like the details, but like I'm trying to figure out who it is.
Oh, got you.
Would you ever like try to pursue it?
As a relationship?
Yeah.
No.
Nah?
No.
Okay.
Why?
I mean, why not?
Because I would be a wag.
She would be Brooke Blurton's girlfriend.
Look at him thinking.
You're already somebody. It's not like you're going to be turned into a wag. Like, you are Brooke Blurton. So it's like you two would have like a level playing field when it came to like...
I just don't love...
power couple.
Yeah, no. And I think she's amazing, and I think it would be a great... It's a great friendship before a sort of relationship. And we haven't really spoken about that, but we've both sort of been on the same path of you need to be with someone that has their own things going on, which we've both felt like that. But every time she has got with someone, I think she's felt that they want to immediately be in a relationship with her. And I don't think that's something that I've ever wanted with her. And I think that's what, I guess, attracts her about me, is that I'm like, yeah, I'm here, but I'm not trying to like wife you up. And that's what happens with lesbians a little bit, is that there's this U-haul, like I need to move in quickly, like we need to be together. And I mean, I do it with guys as well sometimes. And it's not like I don't like her. I just don't know what a relationship looks like with her. And so we just haven't really explored that. And it's just been like this really beautiful friendship / sexual tension and catching up. So anyways, moving on.
So you called me on the weekend.
Yeah.
And you were hanging out with your ex.
So for those who don't really know, I'm not in a relationship. I am seeing two people at the same time, and they've just had sex with a girl. So my life is days of our lives.
It is. And I'm here, front seat of the roller coaster, ready to go.
Yeah.
That's the update.
There's that guy that I was telling you about who I'm seeing casually. So we're seeing each other once a week and we're letting it naturally progress because he's really lovely and he's great. But obviously I still have such an attachment to my ex-boyfriend who I see quite often. But it's not a relationship. It's just more of a convenience or hanging out thing. Anyways, I... went over to his house and I went to the bathroom and I looked in his bin and there was makeup wipes and tampon wrappers. We've communicated that if we are seeing other people or we are sleeping with other people, we would let each other know.
That is a tough thing to put yourself through.
It is. It really is. Yeah. It's fucked.
I see so many red flags with this, and I'll tell you why.
I know.
Because he is having you when he wants, but then also not giving you what you need.
What if he is giving me what I need?
But he's not, because you're seeking something else. You're seeking more. That's why you're back there.
Yeah. No, I see where you're coming from. Absolutely.
You're looking for something in him that I just don't think that he's going to give you. But I think we should continue with the story before I make my
No, I love these revelations. Look, to be fair, whoever's listening, I feel like if you've been in the situation, please help a girl out because I have no idea sometimes what the situation's going to end up, and I do feel like I will end up getting hurt, which I'm equally prepared for in a way, and luckily I'm fucking in therapy every week.
But when you spoke to him about this. What did he say?
Okay, so I, called my friends to ask for advice, as you would, and I'm really helpful that I've got reasonable friends and great friends that have seen two sides of the story. No, like good friends that you're just like, okay, this could be this and it could be this. And they're like, you need to communicate with him what the scenario is and sort of try to find the facts and do it in a calm response. Don't just be like, I found this, like, blah, 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 And I was like, okay, what's the reason? Well, I thought maybe it's his mum. I'm like, no, your mum's probably a little bit older, maybe premenopause kind of age. I don't think she would be getting her period at that age. And I was just making an assumption. That's just one. But it was the makeup wipes for me. So obviously someone stayed over because they've taken their makeup off. That's my, assumption.
Yes. Turns out he's a drag queen.
Hidden life. Hidden secret life. Anyway, so I thought about, okay, this could be the scenario. But then I was like, okay, don't jump to assumptions. Let's just find out the facts. And so I asked him if he could help me with something, and he came over and we went for a walk and we got like breakfast and coffee and, we're walking, and I said, I have something to ask you and bring up with you on the walk. And he's like, yeah, no worries, like ask away. And I said, so I noticed that when I was at your house, there was makeup wipes and tampon wrappers in your bin, and I thought we were being really honest with each other. So I wondered, if you are sleeping with someone else or seeing someone else, like, you would let me know, right? Like, you would be honest with me. And he was like, yeah, I would be honest with you. And I'm not, I promise you. And he was like, are you sure? Like, and then he sort of questioned whether it was his mum's. And I was like, I would love to believe that it's your mum, but I'm sure, she's an older lady, and not to assume, I'm sure she's not getting a period at this age. And he didn't give excuses, but he was like, he hadn't cleaned that bin out for months. And it may have been a crossover between myself and another girl that he was seeing in May, which is when we had connected. So he hadn't cleaned the bin out for 3 months.
Does that sound like something he would do? Is he like a
He's not
clean and
entirely
tidy person?
grubby, but I think it's definitely believable. And I did look him in the eye and I said to him, like, you wouldn't lie to me, would you? Like, please just tell me, like, if you are seeing someone or you have slept with someone, that you would just tell me and be honest. And, and he was very, like, he looked me in the eye, said he was telling the truth. He promised me that, honestly, he just hadn't cleaned the bin out. I believe him.
Let me ask you something.
Okay.
He told you that he hadn't slept with a girl since May.
Yeah. Well, I believe that because he's been with me.
Since May?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that makes it a little bit more understandable because in my head there was a break.
Yeah, like maybe like a week or 2 weeks.
A week or two, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. In my head I thought that you'd just reignited this flame and that there'd been much more of a substantial break, but there hasn't. So you've been like consistently seeing each other. That means that maybe he hasn't slept with someone else. I was thinking, come on, this man has to have slept with someone else if you've only just rekindled that. Yeah. And you've had that big break.
No, like we reconnected during Mother's Day around that time, May.
Have you seen that bin during that time between May and August?
See, this is my avoidant attachment, is that I don't love staying at his house because I then get more attached to our lives being together.
Totally.
Whereas if he just comes and goes from my house, I'm like, okay, that's fine. This is my house. You know, like
it's more comfortable for you.
Yeah, a little bit. And so this is probably the second time I maybe stayed at his house.
Oh, okay. So there's not like a chance that you would have.
Yeah, like I would have noticed it before. My ex was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Well, I know what a fucking tampon wrapper looks like."
I don't like the fact that he said, "Are you sure?" That's a little bit gaslighty for me.
It is a little bit gaslighty, and I do acknowledge that for sure.
It's him making you question your reality. I don't know. There's some red flags with this fella for me because the past.
Yeah, so I guess the past is that, he cheated on his previous ex where they were together for 8 years and he cheated on her for 2 years of that. It's not complex because it doesn't need to be. Like, I literally could just be like, okay, I've had enough now. You just really
like him.
I really do because I feel so comfortable. And it's so fucked. It doesn't have any red flags for me other than the cheating aspect. I know, this is so fucked. And like, to preface, he did say this. He said, from what I've learnt before, he said, I would never lie to you. That's the thing that I'm practicing is I don't want to lie. I want to be open. So he did preface that and did say that, that he is like trying so hard to be honest and open from his past. So he's acknowledging that. So I think that is something to count for. I know that, you know, people can change, and I think a lot of people think, oh, well, you cheat once, you'll cheat again.
No, I think people can change, but I think I think people can also change with relationship dynamics. What made you break up? What made you break up? Because of the communication? What
we had a bad week of communication last year, and because we were together for about 3 months and it was going really well, and I honestly fell so madly and deeply as I do, but like deeper than I'd ever really felt for someone within like 4 weeks. Like I just felt so comfortable and so, I guess, loved by him in such a way that I'd never felt before. So, yeah, I actually asked him out. Remember when I did like a little date card and I wrote and he selected the right one? You know, like I was in my like romantic era and I was feeling like I could be my sort of soft girl, feminine, you know, and he makes me feel like that, which is really good. It's just so fucked. I hate the fact that I talk about him like this and I'm like, oh, but we're not even together.
And what's stopping that?
Well, both of us have had some stuff going on, I think. You know, for us, my thing is I don't want to commit myself to someone unless they're fully 100% in. And he's just openly told me that he could but he can't give 100% into a relationship because he's still working on his shame and guilt from what he's done. Which I think is admirable. Like, go. Yeah. You know, you need to work on that. And you know what? And I don't want to rush that process for you. I think he's just got his own shit going on. And I think I have my own shit going on. And it's just like we both acknowledge that we're not perfect. But I think we do want that next relationship to be something that is worth it. But we're both a bit scared.
So is there an issue with him? Like, would you have an issue with him sleeping with anyone else?
Yeah, I probably would be upset, and I have openly told him that, and he's like, I just don't want to. And he said if I wanted to or if I did, he'd probably like tell me first before it happened, or like he would immediately tell me if it did, you know. Like he's not actively dating anyone, but I'm honest with him, and I think that's also what he admires is that I'm so honest about my experiences, you know, like sleeping with a woman recently and my relationship with this other fella who's just like, you know, naturally progressing from a friendship.
Your heart is really set on your ex and then you're seeing like once a week. What is giving you that you need?
For me, I sometimes don't know what a healthy relationship looks like, but if I'm in one, I generally sometimes think it's boring. And I know that's really sad. It's like I need it to be like fiery and passionate and intense and toxic before it to feel normal. So for me, being with which is so healthy and he communicates so openly and so freely and so lovely, and he wants to take it slow and progress into a more natural, you know, relationship. That's, I guess, I'm giving it the time to see it for what it is and play out how it could. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's a part of me that wants to say to you to let your ex go because he is what you've had in the past in terms of the really high passion, the lots of emotions. There's this other person in your life who is all green flags, but you're not giving yourself to them fully to experience that. And you say that it might get boring, but what do you want? Do you want the passion, the really high passion, but the heartbreak? And then with somebody like who you're saying is like, he has all these good character traits that you're after, but it's like there's something about like him
too nice, you know, like it's nice. That whole too nice thing. Like,
yeah, but he seems like somebody who's not going to hurt you.
The weird thing is that they've both been in an 8-year relationship. So it's just, this is a whole new experience for me, like being this like open communication, these different varied relationships, because
Yep.
like an old version of me was so black and white, like we're together or we're not together, you know.
Yeah.
But all of this is sort of in the grey, and this is
Yeah.
all sort of in the mud. Well, it's not really that muddy, to be fair. I don't feel like my mental health is really that being impacted that much. But then maybe I don't need a relationship. What do you think? And I actually really love your honesty, you know? Like, I really appreciate that you're so real with me and you tell me what you think is best for me, because sometimes I can't see it through that lens, and sometimes you need a friend that can. And, you know, and I haven't really had time to reflect, but I feel like because I'm in a good state of mind, I feel like everything is fine until it isn't.
I think it's about expectation for you. Like, you're pretty realistic with your own expectation, but I feel like, because I remember in the past that I can't get over my ex. Do you want to get over him or not? Because if you want to get over him, you need to cut the cord and you need to move on and pursue something else. And if it's meant to happen, you will find each other again. But what's the point of holding on to something that isn't going to give you what you need right now? Or like, he's been really honest and open, which is great about him. Like, I can't commit to you. So why are you holding on?
I'm going to throw a spanner in the works here, but I think there's part of me that I know that a serious committed relationship is not on the cards for me for this year.
Well, then that's cool. If that's your vibe. Like,
I feel like I'm accepting that, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm accepting that that's not what I... And, you know, I potentially would be moving away or exploring, you know, work elsewhere with acting or whatever. So I'm sort of staying this like open-minded, which the old me would be like, no, this is where I want, this is what I'm going to get. And it's fine. Like that sometimes comes into play with things that I want and I want to achieve then and there. But I think a relationship, from what I've learned, I guess, doing our podcast and having these conversations, is that I still have so much work that I'm doing on myself, which my relationships from my childhood, how they play out in my adulthood, still trying to figure that out. I'm still trying to understand that.
Yeah.
It's taken me a while, but, you know, the process is slow and you got to enjoy the journey. But, yeah, like a committed, I think that's also what's kind of great, because Sam and I sort of, we are in a relationship, but it's not a relationship.
Well, I was about to throw a little spinner in the works and ask, if he admitted to you and he said, yes, I'm sleeping with someone else and that was probably her rappers, what would your reaction be?
Then I would be really upset that he's lied to me, obviously first, because I'm big on principle, and you said that you'd be honest and you haven't.
Yep.
The trust would be gone.
Yep. And then you would
and then
break
I
it
would
off?
and then I'd say to him, I don't trust you, therefore, you know, I don't think that I could pursue this, whatever.
But what if he told you before the fact and before you saw those things, and he told you that he was sleeping with someone else? Would you be okay with it?
Yes, I would. I would be like, okay, they've got a heads up of where we stand more so. Not that I don't know that already, but I'm like, it's the honesty thing for me, because obviously he's previously lied and cheated and not been honest, where I feel like, he'll be repeating that same pattern. So therefore I know that he hasn't done the work and he hasn't changed. So I don't. Yeah.
I'm on the same page as you. Like, I think honesty in a relationship equals hope. For instance, if my partner came home to me and I knew that they had cheated and I asked them and they said to me, yes, I did, there would be a slither of hope.
Yes.
That there would be respect there.
Really?
For saying yes, instead of trying to deny it. If somebody could say, like, for instance, if Denny came home and I found out he cheated, and I said, hey, have you cheated on me? And he said, yes, I have. I was trying to figure out how to tell you. I'd be pissed off. The best option would be that he walked through the door and said, hey, I've done something wrong and I've cheated on you. You know, that level of honesty. I feel like honesty in a relationship is where the hope lies. As soon as somebody, like, doesn't tell you the truth, then the respect for me, for them, goes out the door.
Yeah,
you know?
Of course. Yeah.
But if I gave them the opportunity to tell me the truth and they told me the truth, then there's an opportunity for us to build something, because I know that you will be
taking the coward
honest.
route. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be honest in the tough times.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
So it's like, I hope that he's being honest with you, because I don't want anything to come down.
I
down the
fucking
track.
hope so too. I mean, when we did, you know, go on the walk and I sort of confronted him in a less confrontational way.
Yeah.
he was like, you know, I would never lie to you. Like, it's one thing I've, you know, tried not ever to do is to lie to you and be honest with you and blah, blah, blah.
At what point do we hide the cameras?
Next week.
Yeah, I'm the handyman. Just book me to do some plumbing. I'll go in.
Guys, I just know that, you know, in a matter of fucking weeks, months, whatever time it is, I'm going to be crying on this podcast because it's going to happen.
What do you think? What are you foreseeing?
That the novelty of him being with me will wear off and then we'll be back to where. But the thing is, we've been together longer in this period of time than we were ever together in a relationship.
You've just given yourself a revelation. So many of these relationships are novelty for you.
Yes.
Bam. Mic drop.
All right. Well, that's all we have time for today.
Yes, today.
Thank you so much for listening to First Things First. And if you love us, guys, you love what you hear, leave us a rating and a review.
And if you want us to cover anything on the pod, just reach out. Slide into our DMs. Brooke's handle is at brooke.blurton. Mine is at It's Maddie Mills. And you can check out all the Nova podcast action over at Nova Podcast Official.
See you guys next week.
See you,
bye.
Mom. Bye.
Love you. Bye. Bye-bye.